Today we are going to learn about something very important. What is it? Let us see. Now here the sentence is Sam kicked the ball. So in this sentence, what is the verb? Kicked. Now if I ask who kicked the ball, what is my answer? It is Sam. So Sam is doing this action or performing the action of kicking the ball. So Sam is the doer. Now if you look at this verb is being performed on something else. So if I ask Sam kicked what? My answer is the ball. So in this case, the ball is the object of this sentence. So Sam is the subject or the doer, kicked is the verb, and the ball is the object of the verb kicked. So what do we get? The doer, action and receiver. So Sam is the doer, kicked is our action, and the ball is the receiver or the object. So who is receiving the action and who is doing the action? So in a sentence we have three things. One, the action, then who performs that action, and the third, who receives that action. Now look at this sentence. The ball was kicked by Sam. Now in this sentence, what is our verb? Was kicked. Now if I ask what was kicked, my answer is the ball. So here the ball is the subject of the sentence. But is the ball the performer of this action kicked? No. Was kicked by Sam. So the ball was kicked by whom? So it is kicked by Sam. So actually the doer of this sentence is also Sam. But it comes after the verb. So in this sentence, our pattern is receiver plus action plus doer. So the subject in this sentence is not the doer but the receiver of the action. So if you look at these two sentences together, what do we see? In one case, our subject is the doer, and in the other, the subject is the receiver of the action. So a sentence where we have the doer plus action plus receiver format is said to be in the active voice. And in a sentence where you have the receiver plus action plus doer, like the ball was kicked by Sam, then such a sentence is said to be in the passive voice. So what is a voice? Voice is that form of a verb which shows whether the subject of the verb is the doer or agent of the action denoted by the verb or not. So voice is that form of a verb that helps us to understand whether the subject of the verb is the doer or the receiver of the action. So a voice can be of two types, active voice and passive voice. And what do they denote? In active voice, the subject is the doer of the action. In the passive voice, subject is the receiver of the action. So the examples were Sam kicked the ball. So in this case, what do we see? The subject is the doer of the action. Who kicked the ball? Sam kicked the ball. And in the passive voice, the subject is the receiver of the action. So we see the ball was kicked by Sam. So the ball is the subject, but it is the receiver of the action. What else do we note? In the active voice, what is the verb form? Kicked. In the passive voice, the verb form is was kicked. So what is it? We have the auxiliary be verb and then the past participle form of the verb kick. So first we have a be auxiliary verb or the helping verb which takes a suitable tense, and then it is followed by the past participle form of the base verb. In this case our base verb is kick and the past participle form is kicked. So the passive voice always requires the auxiliary be verb, and in the passive voice we generally use the preposition by after the verb and then mention the doer. So what do we see here? We have this preposition by, which is used after the verb, that is was kicked, followed by the doer Sam. You see, in the active voice we do not have the preposition, but when we have written a passive voice we need a preposition before the doer. Felita bought a storybook. Now in this sentence, what do we see? Our verb is bought. Who bought a storybook? Felita bought a storybook. So Felita is the subject of this sentence. Now, is Felita performing the action of buying the storybook? Yes, Felita is the doer of the verb bought. So this sentence is said to be in the active voice. Now here, what is the sentence? The naughty boy was scolded by the teacher. So what is the verb here? Was scolded. Now who was scolded? The naughty boy. So the subject is the naughty boy. And who is scolding? The teacher is scolding. So the naughty boy is not the doer of this action. It is the receiver of the action. The doer is the teacher. The naughty boy is the receiver of the action. So when the subject becomes the receiver of the action, then the sentence is said to be in the passive voice. Also, you will note the verb form. What is it? Was scolded. So was is the auxiliary be verb and scolded is the past participle form of the verb scold. So we have this form, be plus past participle. Hence, the verb form also tells us that the sentence is in the passive voice. Now, identify the voice of the sentence. He removed the weeds and the dry leaves. So here, what do we have to do? First, we need to identify the verb. The verb is removed. Now, who removed the weeds and the dry leaves? He. So, this pronoun he is the subject here and it is performing the action removed. So, the subject is the doer in this case. Hence, this is in the active voice. Now look at this sentence. The pizza was made by father. So in this case, what is the voice of the sentence? Well, first let us identify the verb. The verb is was made. Now what was made? The pizza. So the pizza is the subject of this sentence. So was made. In this case, is the pizza performing this action? No. Who made? Father made the pizza. So father is the doer. So the pizza is the receiver of the action was made. Hence, the subject is not the doer in this case. So it is in the passive voice. Also, you will note the form of the verb is was made. So was is the be verb and made is the past participle form of the verb make. So the verb was made is formed by the be verb plus past participle form of the verb. Hence, it is in the passive voice. So, today we have learned something very important. We have learned that there can be two types of voices. Voices help us to understand whether the subject of a sentence is the doer or the receiver of the action. Now, accordingly, we have the active voice and the passive voice, and we have also seen how the verb form helps us to recognize whether the sentence is in the active voice or in the passive voice. So now all you need to do is take up as many examples of sentences as possible and see if you can identify if a sentence is in the active voice or in the passive voice. We are going to learn about the active and the passive voice in great details very soon. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests, performance analysis along with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You can also win amazing prizes like PlayStation, iPad, watches and many more along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.